So I figured it out. This represents the day job, and this represents being able to work from home and financial independence. Yeah,
There we go.
that's what I'm talking about. We're in the future.
All right. What's up, guys? It's the kid Commoninterest. Today, bringing you guys vlog number 12, and I'm out here with special guest Matthew Shell.
In the future.
In the future, baby. Somebody's Twitter's blowing up right now. Controversial topics from Matthew Shell. He asked the question, what's missing from the music industry these days? Right?
Yep, and I just did it from my own curiosity. I don't usually post questions. I don't even post that much on Twitter. But, I was just curious, doing my own little market research. And it started out getting lots of comments right away. And the comments were interesting. Like, they were definitely more than I expected. I thought people were just going to say stuff like, oh, you just have to look deeper. But a lot of people are missing a lot of music that takes time to make. Because there's a formula, there's a process that goes into a lot of the pop music that we hear.
Yep.
And all of the comments were speaking towards soul and passion and crafting the music and poetry and just everything that goes into making classic music, just not, the typical formulaic stuff. But it was just really interesting, and it really caught on. A lot of different people were replying and tweeting and getting in on the action.
Yeah.
Free from SiriusXM, she used to be on BET's 106 in Park. She tweeted, "What up, Free?"
What's up, Free?
Thank you for that. And then her tweet got a whole bunch more comments too.
Nice.
So it just added to it, and it's up to about 225 comments now on all the different sites.
He's buzzing right now. The topic's buzzing.
I'm just happy the topic's buzzing because it's really giving me ideas for my next album. Like, I've always made music that took time to make. For instance, one of my songs titled "Beauty and Freedom" took a whole year to make.
Whole year to make one song. How long was the song?
10 minutes.
Nice. 10-minute song took him a year.
And it was because I just kept coming back to it over and over and over. I submitted it to a film and it got denied. And so I was like, I gotta make it even better and show them that this is gonna be the best song ever.
Did it get placed?
No, it didn't.
Okay.
But that made me work even harder.
Nice.
Because it's like, wait, what was the reason? They were like, oh, it's too clean. They wanted like something like just acoustic guitar and grungy and
okay.
And I was like, my music's not really like that, but I do love that kind of music. But at the same time, I tried, but it didn't work out. But so something I started to make for a film that it didn't get placed ended up being a song that a lot of the people who've heard my music really love. So
that's like your
one of the
songs that fans like.
Yeah, a lot of the fans like that song the best. So it's just an example of if somebody says they don't like it, you got to believe in your own music and keep working on it.
Yeah.
Maybe their point of view is valid. Maybe there are things you need to improve, and I always take people's criticism and just try to improve instead of dwelling on it and giving up. Just never give up on a song you believe in. But yeah, going back to the question, that's what a lot of people say they miss. They miss songs that you can tell the artist took a lot of time to craft and create and make beautiful. And one of the posts was funny. It was they showed Led Zeppelin's amazing lyrics next to Rebecca Black's song Friday. And it's like lyrics of the 70s versus lyrics of today. So it's we're not saying all songs are like that, but it was definitely interesting. Oh, little Angel, she's coming in. We'll get some footage of her.
Like a sailor on the ocean in her eyes, but she's not my type at all.
Just wanted attention. She wanted to be in the video, so here she is, Angel the Corgi.
All right, so I had a couple of questions I wanted to ask you. When you're not in the studio making music, what are you doing to push your craft and market yourself to people and get your music in front of the right people, or the people that you want to get your music in front of?
That's a good question. So marketing is another passion of mine, and I've really researched and learned from other people in the industry and from other people in other industries who market really well. Online marketing.
Nice.
Just being proficient at every possible website. And I first thought, hey, I'm just doing it for fun. But there are some serious jobs out there. Even University of Maryland, I saw they're hiring for a person who has skills with Twitter, Facebook, pretty much just all the sites that I'm really good at.
To do their social media?
Yeah. So, you know,
Nice.
that might be something I apply to, but I was just really interested to see that what started as a hobby and just getting good at it for the sake of getting my music out there really is used in the corporate world and in educational world as well. And so it's a skill that, while it's useful for music, it's useful for anything these days. It's social media and networking online is just really important. And being able to explain yourself well is also important, because a lot of people think, oh, if I just market online, that's enough. But in person, you got to be able to.
I mean, there's some people out there who can, like, just strictly online presence does it for them, but for the most part, you need the in-person connection. You need to market yourself in person and online. Well,
Absolutely.
he's like in Las Vegas.
Angel's trying to get in the video.
Bruh.
So what are some things that you do, like, specifically to market yourself and your music?
Well, one of the main things that I try to encourage all the artists I work with to do is to reach out to blogs. So you can talk about yourself all day, but if no one else is talking about you, you're not building credibility. So at this point in my career, I've been featured over 80 times in different blogs and different things. And that's just from hustling and sharing my music and staying on them. Hey, you want to check out my stuff and do a review of this song or this album? And it really works. For instance, and the other thing is, don't get discouraged. You might submit to 10 blogs and only one of them will review you. So you got to keep that hustle going, even if you're discouraged. And a lot of people, and even people that you like, there were times where we had a music video premiere for a song called Beautiful Dreamer that I produced for Carolyn Malachi, and one of the reviewers came, and then because we invited them and took the time, they actually reviewed the song. It was really nice. They posted the video on the website associated with that. And then I recently hit them up again, and they haven't reviewed the new music. And they're like, oh, I love the album. I'm like, oh, that's great, would you review it? But it's like, so every time I have a new album, I'm gonna have to have a release party and invite all the reviewers. And do I have to do all of this every time? Like, man. So it's interesting. Some reviewers just really like being wined and dined. And then, you
have to take them out to dinner and all that?
Or have an event just for them. Like, oh, we're gonna have a house performance where you get to come over to the house and see me perform an acoustic set just for you, and then maybe they'll review you. But you know what I'm saying? It's tough. Like, you got to get creative. But honestly, that is a decent way to do it. I learned that from Carolyn. She was really smart with that video. For instance, I think she had about 40 different music reviewers and radio people in the video.
Nice.
So she invited them to be in the video. So of course they're gonna promote it.
Them.
Yeah. And that video has over 100,000 views now on YouTube. So she did her thing, and that was very smart. Oh, Angel says yes, that was a very smart idea. But that's an example of excellent marketing right there. Networking, including people in your promotion.
Okay.
Being generous and including people in the video, and it worked. Like, everybody was talking about that video.
Does it matter how big you are as an artist, per se? What if you're just starting out?
Yeah.
And you're small?
I mean, I always act like I'm starting out. Like, for real, like, no matter how many, like, 80 reviews later, it's still like, I approach people like, hey man, I have this new album, I've worked so hard. Like, I never, like, act like I've done. Yeah, man. Never. No, I come at it like a new artist every time. And honestly, that works well if you're coming at it like a new artist, because people are like, oh, this is something new and different, especially if they've never heard of you before.
Okay.
And so I don't see that as a disadvantage. I think people these days are more open to review eclectic, different sounds.
Okay.
And they're interested to promote what's not the mainstream. It's a bit of a different attitude. at least in the blogosphere, blog world. So you can definitely get your stuff out there. It just takes hustle and reaching out to a lot of different blogs and not getting too discouraged when maybe only 1 in 10 will even reply, let alone write a review.
All right.
So
Blogs are really big. Anything else other than blogs that you reach out to?
I guess another thing I do is when opportunities come, such as being a judge for a beat battle, or which you won. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
And honestly, I didn't know it was his beat when he submitted it, and I voted for it. At the competition, once I realized it was him, everyone was like, "You swayed the votes." But I was like, "Nah, dude, I like the beat. Like, trust me, I didn't know." It was fire, but no, I didn't know it was Commoninterest beat. Like, for real, I just liked the beat, and I voted as my favorite. So maybe I did encourage the audience once we were there. Like, yo, this is the beat. Dope. But still, it's not my fault he won. He won because the audience cheered him on. So anyway, but yeah, I do. If they call me for a beat battle, cool. If they call me to teach, cool. And it's not that it pays much or at all sometimes, but it's getting out there and it's doing it in a credible way. So like, for instance, that beat battle had Substantial, who's an amazing rapper. MC, I guess is the right term for that.
Yeah.
And then it also had Chucky Thompson, who's a legendary producer. So being, the judges with two amazing people like that, I learned a lot from hearing what they had to say and just being on that stage is that gets you exposure. And then teaching. I love teaching, and Omega keeps calling me back to do it. So thank you, Omega Recording Studios, Rockville, Maryland. Shout out.
I went there.
We all went there. We were students, and now we're pretty dope.
Yeah.
So. But we're dope because of our education mixed with hard work. I sucked back when it was just hard work, but now that I have a bit of education mixed in and some good connections building, it all comes together a bit more. But again, that hustle, you never have to give that up. What else do I do? I mean, like, pretty much I'm open when people offer like this. And hey, Matt, you want to do an interview? Or I don't even remember. Maybe I thought of it. But either way, it's like I really like all of Commoninterest videos, and I thought this would be cool. Like, he's never interviewed anyone. That'd be dope.
Some interviews.
Yeah, we're both Omega grads. We got stuff in common. So he's dope at producing, and I love his stuff. So it's like, hey, it just makes sense. Let's all do this. So
Nice.
Just be open. Like, don't say I'm only a producer. I don't have to do any work.
Yeah. Kind of have things that set you apart from others. Like, you do music and you do blogs, other things as well.
Corgi meetups.
Corgi meetups.
What up? Angela Corgi.
Question number 3. I know a lot of producers might want to know this. How do you go about getting placements with your music, as far as like movies, commercials, major artists, etc.?
Well, movies, the easiest way to do it is get to know different filmmakers. All the movies I've been placed in are with filmmakers who are either people who did music videos for me first, or someone that I had known for a while and they gave their CD to their brother who happened to be a director. I've never gotten a placement just off of a website or a simple submission. I do submit because I never give up. But no, but one day maybe I'll get something like that. But honestly, even the other people I've talked to, it's been with people that they've known or reached out to and worked with and hired them to do a music video, and then they're like, oh, I like your music. Maybe I'll put it in my phone. Can I do that? And I'm like, yeah. So
give me them royalties.
And then also do a lot of independent films first, because if you can get a good reel, that can lead to good things. Because honestly, some of the more major independent films that I've been in, the director knew me, but when he saw my demo reel, which had other films that I had done music for, then he was really interested. So the best advice I can give is make a really, really quality either video demo reel if you've produced a lot of songs that are music videos, and if you don't, at least make an audio demo reel with it, like 15 or 30 seconds of each song. So when you email a director or someone, they're hearing a bunch of your work, but in a short period of time, and they only have to click once, because they're not going to click more than once. If you send a whole bunch of files of songs, they're probably just going to listen to the first one. So,
and you got visuals to go with it.
Yeah, so having a demo reel, that's really powerful, and not just in getting film placements, but getting good clients. Like a lot of the clients, I ask them, well, what made you want to work with me? A lot of clients who find me online, and it's usually either the demo reel or this one video genesis. Even vocal artists say that video made me want to work with you. So
the Genesis video had the Pro Tools.
Yeah, the Slate Digital FGX.
Yeah, that joint was hot.
Yeah, so that was really cool getting to work with Steven Slate. He invited us to shoot the video at his studio in Los Angeles, and we actually shot that video in 7 different countries. It was Germany, Armenia, India, Singapore, America, Canada, and I'm forgetting one, but it was shot all over the world. And the only thing gripe I have about the video is I forgot to say at the bottom of the screen, hey, we're in Germany now. You know, like everyone's like, man, that's an awesome studio. Everyone's like recording and playing together. It's like, it was actually shot in all the different countries, and so, but yeah, so it's definitely that was definitely the video. What were we talking about?
We were talking. You were on it, but it was what were we talking about? How do you get placements?
Placements. Yeah, all right. So the director who I hired to shoot the Genesis music video, after that, then he put Genesis in one of his films.
Okay, cool.
So, but it was only because I had hired him, and then he was like, and he worked on it for months, working on that video, and then he's like, that song really is awesome. I want to use it. Can I use it? I'm like, yeah, use that. All right, cool. So, and then don't charge when you're starting out.
Oh.
A lot of people are like, I gotta get money right away. And like, music leads to other gigs that'll get you money. Like, I definitely let a lot of my music be in films for free, but it just spreads the word more and more. And then now I get paid to be a teacher. I get paid on all sorts of different gigs that came as a result of the music. Okay. But definitely always be generous with your music when you're starting out. Definitely have a vision to be paid and get contracts and all that for later. But when you're starting and you need to get your music out there, it's good to not be stingy. Like be willing to let it go for free here and there.
In a video, you want it in a movie, or you don't want it in a movie?
Right.
What's it gonna be?
So, yeah. And then what was another question?
So you got movies. Your stuff has been movies before. What about I guess producers know how to work with artists, but
yeah, submitting to artists is hard, but you kind of have to really focus on that. Like, write songs that you can submit, but you also have to be in a position where you know someone and can submit to those artists. Okay. So for now, I've really focused on working with local talent or talent that is really good, that might be out of state, but it's not necessarily major artists. Because I'm developing my craft, getting better. I feel like I'm at a place now that I can start reaching out to major artists, but I didn't reach out right away because I wanted to develop my skills and have a good demo reel of lots of great vocal productions and jazz production, all sorts of stuff, so that when I do reach out, it's like, hey, he has a lot under his belt. We'll give him a shot. So don't expect things to happen quickly. It takes a lot of hard work, and you might submit 100 times and still not get anything, but then later something might come through. So it's just a matter of believing in yourself and continuing.
Do you have your music in Starbucks?
I think I had it once in a Starbucks, but it was only because I talked to the managers. Like, hey, can I leave some CDs here that you give out for free?
And, you gave them out for free?
Yeah, because they wouldn't sell them.
Right.
But there have been a couple stores where they actually sold them, though. Not Starbucks, like other places. Like this bread shop sold it.
I saw some in the Record Exchange.
Record Exchange had some copies. And then, just different places, but some of the albums that I've worked on that have sold in stores were for other artists, like Marcus Johnson. One album I did for him sold a lot of places, like a place called Circuit City. It's no longer around, but we got
So long.
we got a nice deal there where we actually hit the Billboard's top 10 because of all the CDs they bought.
Nice.
And then Giant Food of all
Word?
places was selling Flow Chill. It was so weird. Like, they don't sell CDs, but
Yeah.
you walk in and you see the album I produced, and it was right
Shit.
there. And even my parents were like, "Is this the album that you produced, darling?" I was like, "Look at the back." "Oh yes, there's your name." I was like, "Yep." Because I wasn't even sure. I was like, "Are you really? What's it doing in Giant?" I had a lot of friends hit me up like, "I think I just saw your name. It's on some CD in Giant." I was like,
Yeah, that's me.
"I didn't know." That's cool. That's a good look. But yeah. So I mean, once you feel confident about your skills, then reach out and don't give up. Just start reaching out to more and more major artists. But don't. I would say develop your skills a bit first.
Okay.
Don't, because if you start reaching out and then they don't like what you do because it's crappy,
So, like,
that could mess you up too.
When you say major artists, like, how, do you have their emails or like how do you?
Well, some of them I like another artist had hired them to be on a track that I engineered or produced.
Okay.
And then I kept their phone number and then hit them up later and like, "Hey, so how much do you charge to be on my track?" And you'd be surprised. Some of them do it for very affordable, and you can negotiate. Always negotiate. Don't, if they say a price, never go with that. Say, "Look, I'm just starting out. I'm just really trying to get there. And if you like the track, would you be willing to do it for a little bit less? Because I don't have the biggest budget. And honestly, I'm doing this all out of my own pocket, so I don't have the biggest budget. But I a lot of times, if they like what you're doing,
bartering system.
Bartering.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, on the song Thoughts of Her on my album, I said I would do 2 lyric videos if you would record, and those are valued at $dollars each for the lyric videos. And he said, "Well, yeah, my rate's usually to sing on a track."
All right.
And so he said, "How about you do 1 lyric video and then you pay me?" I was like, "See, that's fair.
Okay.
I can do that."
He wasn't feeling too. He wanted to get some cash.
He wanted some cash, and I was like, "Dude, Armand, you're amazing. You're worth every penny of that bucks.
Okay.
But how about I do a lyric video for you and pay you the and he's like, "Yeah, that works. There you go." So yeah, offer service. Sometimes they might not be willing to come down on their price, but if you have a service that's nice, that they're like, "Oh yeah, let's do that," then yeah, and so that's the value of that, and let's hope that we can get more bartering situations in the future. So.
All right, so your album just dropped, Spiritual Relationship, The Deeper Meaning. It's doing really good. So how long did it take you to complete that?
It's actually interesting because I started it 15 years ago and gave up.
Word?
Yeah, and then I did like over 100 songs back then and just destroyed all of them. Like, they're not good enough. And that was before I'd gone to Omega. And then I went to Omega, got better at engineering, and I've worked with lots of people over the years, and I feel more confident now. But yeah, the album title, I had envisioned it back in college. Oh, my baby. But I envisioned the concept album. It was meant to be a double album, but as I progressed in my career, I appreciate when an album is more concise. I used to like 80-minute albums. Yeah, this album. My album Film Music is exactly 78 minutes long.
Dang.
It's like 24 songs. But anyway, this album was gonna be like that, but instead I did actually write 200 songs for this album, but I condensed
200.
it down to the best 11.
Okay.
Yeah. And I felt like people are gonna be able to feel that, like, man, these songs are so dope. But you get dope songs by just working a lot.
Yeah.
And so, if you work a lot and you take your time with it, you can make a really dope project, and hopefully, a lot of people feel that way. But what's really cool is the one thing I'm really, really happy about the aftermath is, I think there are like 45 Amazon reviews by different people. A lot of them I don't know, and then at least 35 iTunes reviews, and like all but 1 is 5 stars. So it's crazy. It's like really, really a big blessing. And then a whole bunch of CD Baby reviews. That's right. And it's just a real blessing. Like, I think it's over 100 reviews overall on the different digital distribution websites. So it's just a blessing to see a lot of people really loving the music. It took a long time, but in the end, I'm just really happy with it.
Yeah.
So,
are you always working with live musicians?
Especially on the last 3 albums I've done,
Okay.
it was almost all live instrumentation. This album experimented with some electronic drum sounds, but even with the electronic drums I did on some of the tracks, it still had like jazz soloists. Like Gerald Albright is on track 2 playing saxophone.
Yeah.
This guy named Aaron Crimebrook is soloing on guitar. On
It was on a violin on
Boss Music.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a Grammy winner. Her name's Rocio Maron, and she is really dope. She plays violin on that track, and that track also features another Grammy winner named Ricky Cash.
Nice.
He's on keyboards, and what's cool is that track's actually more his sound, because the original demo I sent him, he's so dope that he redid it completely. But he was like, "You don't have to put my name on it." I'm like, "Of course I'm gonna put your name." You like made it your style. And I love it, and he even got his singer, like the singer on it. She's from India.
Okay.
Her name's Alexis D'Souza, but she's like not even on Facebook. It's like his own personal like songwriter, singer, and she like I can't find her anywhere online, but she's so good, and it's really crazy how it all came together. But yeah, that track. The original demo I made with a guy named Strat Carter from Barbados, and then we made that beat together. Like we were going back and forth. I was saying I want this, I want that, and I was sending him parts, and he'd send me back. And then when we sent it to Ricky, who just completely remade it, so it was like
he just remade the whole
thing. It was so dope. I mean, he kept the vibe, but the sounds he put in there are just so awesome. I can see why he won. He won for Best New Age Album last year at the Grammys.
Nice.
So, and I had been friends with him before that, thanks to Arun Shenoy, who's actually his label released this album, Narked Records. Thank you, Narked Records. But they released Spiritual Relationship, The Deeper Meaning, and I've worked with Arun in the past, and he's really supportive. And when the label found out I was finishing my album, they actually gave me some really good advice. I had a bunch of remixes on there, and it was really long. I had like the double album concept, and he's like, "Matt, you're gonna confuse people with all these remixes. Just make it all original music."
Okay.
You know, and I think it'll represent you better. And I took his advice, and honestly, I'm really happy with that, because instead of having all these remixes of songs I've done in the past, just it's all new stuff. So yeah, so that's an example, like taking some feedback that you might not want to hear, but in the end, it'll help you and make a better product in the end. So but yeah, so 15 years in the making, but the actual making of the music that you hear on the album was about a year.
Okay.
To make the project come to life.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
What up, baby?
All right. So if you guys enjoyed this week's vlog, give it a like down below and a subscribe, and stay tuned for more vlogs
in the future.
Rewind. 1, 2, 3.
And stay tuned for more vlogs to come in the future. Hey, shout out to Terra Show, Angel the Corgi. And she has a message for everyone. Tell your friends, subscribe. Love y'all. Bye-bye.